What if I told you that anxiety, the very thing that keeps you up at night, second-guessing every decision, could actually be your greatest ally? Sounds counterintuitive, right? But here's the truth. Anxiety isn't just a burden, it's a signal, a force, and yes, even a tool. The problem is, most of us have been taught to fear it, to silence it, or worse, to let it control us. But what if, instead of fighting it, you learn to harness it? Imagine transforming that restless energy into confidence, creativity, and authentic leadership. Sounds like a superpower, doesn't it? Here's the thing. Anxiety doesn't just show up to make your life miserable. It's there to push you, to challenge you, to make you grow. Some of the most successful people, like Jesse Eisenberg, have learned to channel their anxiety into their careers, using it as fuel for their creative process and leadership style. They've discovered that the key isn't to eliminate anxiety, but to work with it. And the best part, you can do it too. Whether you're navigating self-doubt, striving for authenticity, or stepping into a leadership role, this journey will show you how to turn your biggest challenge into your greatest strength. So, if you've ever felt like your anxiety is holding you back, stick around, because what you're about to learn could change the way you see yourself and your potential forever. Ready to dive in? Anxiety often gets a bad rap, doesn't it? But what if we flipped the script and saw it as a secret weapon? Think about it. Those racing thoughts, that pounding heart, the constant what-ifs. Could they actually be fuel for something greater? Jesse Eisenberg once pointed out that many successful people share this trait. They channel their anxiety into action. It's like a fire under your feet, pushing you to prepare, to create, to innovate. Imagine a writer, for instance, who uses their fear of failure to refine their story until it's a masterpiece. Anxiety, in this sense, isn't the enemy, it's the spark. Now, let's be clear, anxiety isn't exactly a cozy companion. It whispers doubts and amplifies insecurities, but it also forces you to stay sharp. Picture an artist preparing for an exhibition. That gnawing feeling of, will they like it, drives them to push boundaries, to perfect their craft. Jesse himself has spoken about how his own anxiety has shaped his career, propelling him to take risks and embrace the unknown. It's a paradox, really. Something that feels so overwhelming can also be the very thing that keeps you moving forward. But here's the catch. Anxiety needs direction. Without it, it can spiral into chaos. The key is to harness it, like a director guiding a chaotic set into a cohesive vision. Jesse's approach to filmmaking mirrors this idea. He channels his nervous energy into fostering creativity and collaboration. So, the next time you feel that familiar knot in your stomach, ask yourself, how can I use this? Because, as we'll see in the next topic, even the most confident-looking people wrestle with their own inner critic. Self-image is a tricky thing, isn't it? From the outside, artists like Jesse Eisenberg might seem like they've got it all figured out. Confidence, talent, and success. But beneath the surface, even the most accomplished individuals wrestle with self-doubt and relentless self-criticism. Jesse has openly shared how his struggles with self-esteem and insecurity have shaped not only his personal life, but also his career. It's a reminder that vulnerability is universal, no matter how polished someone appears. And here's the kicker. That vulnerability? It's often the birthplace of authenticity. Self-criticism, though, can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it pushes you to improve, on the other, it can paralyze you. Jesse's experience highlights this balance. He's constantly critiquing his own work, but he also knows when to step back and let it breathe. Think about it. How often do we let our inner critic dictate our worth? What if instead, we reframed that voice as a guide rather than a judge? For example, if you're working on a project and feel it's not good enough, ask yourself, is this self-criticism helping me grow, or is it holding me back? And here's the thing about vulnerability. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. Jesse's willingness to embrace his insecurities allows him to connect with others on a deeper level, both on and off screen. It's this openness that makes his performances so relatable and his leadership so effective. Vulnerability invites collaboration, trust, and growth. And as we'll explore next, learning to manage self-criticism is key to thriving in both creative and professional spaces. Self-criticism can feel like a relentless shadow, always lurking, always whispering. Jesse Eisenberg has shared how he manages this by setting boundaries, not just with others, but with himself. For instance, he avoids reading reviews of his work or even walking past posters of his movies. Why? Because he knows those external opinions can amplify his inner critic. It's not about ignoring feedback entirely, it's about protecting your mental space so you can focus on what truly matters. Imagine how freeing it would be to silence the noise and trust your own process instead. Of course, some might see this as a sign of weakness, but Jesse sees it as a survival strategy. And honestly, isn't that what we all need sometimes? Think about it. If you're constantly exposing yourself to criticism, whether it's from social media, colleagues, or even family, it's easy to spiral into self-doubt. Instead, try this. Limit your exposure to unnecessary negativity. Maybe that means muting certain notifications or stepping away from conversations that drain you. It's not about running from reality. It's about creating a space where you can thrive. But here's the twist. Self-criticism isn't something you can completely escape. It's more about learning to live with it. Jesse acknowledges that his strategy isn't perfect, but it allows him to function effectively in a high-pressure industry. The key is finding what works for you. Maybe it's journaling, meditating, or even talking to a trusted friend. Whatever it is, the goal is to quiet that inner voice just enough to hear your own instincts. And leadership often requires this same balance of self-awareness and self-preservation. Leadership is often painted as a role of authority, but Jesse Eisenberg sees it differently. As a director, he doesn't approach leadership as a commanding figure barking orders. Instead, he views it as an opportunity to nurture creativity and bring out the best in others. Think of it like conducting an orchestra. You're not playing every instrument, but you're guiding the harmony. Jesse believes that leadership isn't about control. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe to express their ideas and take risks. And isn't that when the most magical moments happen? Jesse's approach to leadership is rooted in collaboration, not hierarchy. He's the kind of director who values input from everyone on set, from the lead actor to the sound technician. For example, he's shared how he works closely with his team to refine scenes, encouraging them to bring their unique perspectives to the table. This isn't just about making better films, it's about fostering trust and mutual respect. Imagine how much more effective any team could be if everyone felt their voice mattered. Leadership, in this sense, becomes less about ego and more about connection. But here's the challenge. Leading without dominating requires a deep sense of self-awareness. Jesse admits he's not a traditional leader, and that's okay. His style is more about guiding than dictating, more about listening than commanding. This kind of leadership might feel unconventional, but it's incredibly effective in creative industries, where collaboration is key. Collaboration is the heartbeat of any creative process, and Jesse Eisenberg knows this better than most. He thrives on the collective energy of a team, whether it's brainstorming with designers, fine-tuning scenes with editors, or improvising with actors. Jesse emphasizes that creativity isn't a solo act, it's a shared experience. Think of it like a puzzle. Each person brings a piece, and together you create something far greater than the sum of its parts. For instance, his collaboration with Kieran Culkin on set often led to unexpected, brilliant moments that no script could have predicted. But collaboration isn't just about working together, it's about trust. Jesse believes that the best results come when you let go of the need to control everything, and instead lean on the expertise of those around you. He's spoken about how Julianne Moore's experience and intuition enriched his projects in ways he couldn't have imagined. It's a humbling realization. Sometimes, the smartest thing you can do is step back and let others shine. And isn't that what true leadership is all about? Trusting the process, even when it feels uncertain. Of course, collaboration has its challenges. It requires humility, patience, and a willingness to adapt. Jesse's approach is to foster an environment where everyone feels valued and heard, which isn't always easy in high-pressure situations. But when it works, the results are extraordinary. The creative process becomes less about individual perfection and more about collective brilliance. Humility is often misunderstood as weakness, but Jesse Eisenberg sees it as one of the strongest tools in his creative arsenal. He openly acknowledges the superior skills of his collaborators, like Julianne Moore, whose talent and experience often elevate the entire project. But instead of feeling overshadowed, Jesse views this as an opportunity to learn and grow. Humility, in his eyes, isn't about downplaying your own abilities. It's about recognizing the value others bring to the table. Imagine how much more productive and fulfilling work could be if we all embraced this mindset. Being humble doesn't mean surrendering authority. It means leading with respect and openness. Jesse believes that micromanaging stifles creativity, so he opts for a leadership style that empowers others. For example, instead of dictating every detail, he encourages his team to experiment and bring their own ideas to life. This approach not only fosters trust, but also creates a space where innovation can thrive. It's a reminder that leadership isn't about knowing everything. It's about creating an environment where everyone can contribute their best. Of course, humility comes with its own challenges, especially in a world that often equates confidence with competence. Jesse admits that it can be hard to balance humility with the need to assert direction. But he's found that authenticity is the key. By admitting his limitations and focusing on collaboration, he's able to build stronger connections with his team. Stepping into a leadership role for the first time can feel like being thrown into the deep end, and Jesse Eisenberg knows this all too well. As a new director, he faced the daunting task of managing people with far more experience than him. Imagine trying to guide seasoned actors or skilled technicians while battling your own insecurities. Jesse admits that this was no easy feat, but he quickly learned that leadership isn't about pretending to have all the answers. Instead, it's about fostering open communication and creating a space where feedback flows both ways. One of the biggest lessons Jesse learned was the power of honest feedback. It's tempting to sugarcoat things or avoid difficult conversations, especially when you're new to a role. But Jesse realized that authenticity and respect go hand in hand. For instance, he made it a point to acknowledge his own uncertainties while still providing clear direction to his team. This balance of vulnerability and decisiveness not only earned him respect, but also helped him grow into his role. It's a reminder that leadership is as much about listening as it is about guiding. Of course, balancing insecurity with the need to lead is a delicate dance. Jesse found that the key lies in focusing on the bigger picture, on the story being told or the vision being realized. By shifting the focus away from his own doubts and toward the collective goal, he was able to navigate the challenges of leadership more effectively. And this ability to adapt and embrace the unexpected is especially crucial in the dynamic world of improvisation and creativity. Improvisation is where creativity truly comes alive, and Jesse Eisenberg has learned to embrace its unpredictable magic. On set, working with someone like Kieran Culkin, who thrives on spontaneity, taught Jesse the importance of adapting his approach to fit the unique styles of his collaborators. It's not about forcing creativity into a rigid framework. It's about allowing the unexpected to happen. Imagine a scene that takes an entirely new direction because of one unscripted line. It's moments like these that can elevate a project from good to unforgettable. But improvisation isn't just about going off script. It's about creating an environment where people feel free to experiment. Jesse believes that a director's role is to foster this kind of freedom while still keeping the overall vision intact. For example, he might encourage actors to try different interpretations of a scene, knowing that even mistakes can lead to breakthroughs. It's a delicate balance between structure and spontaneity, and it requires a deep trust in the process and in the people you're working with. Of course, embracing improvisation means letting go of perfectionism, which can be a challenge for anyone, especially in a high-stakes creative environment. Jesse has found that the best results often come when you stop chasing perfection and start focusing on authenticity. The goal isn't to control every detail, but to capture something real, something human. This ability to transform intimidating situations into collaborative opportunities is a skill that can make or break a leader. Working with intimidating figures can feel like stepping into a lion's den, but Jesse Eisenberg has learned to reframe these moments as opportunities for collaboration. When faced with seasoned professionals or towering reputations, it's easy to feel like an imposter. Jesse admits he's wrestled with this fraud feeling, but instead of letting it paralyze him, he's chosen to lean into the experience. He reminds himself that even the most accomplished individuals crave constructive feedback and genuine connection. After all, no one is immune to self-doubt, no matter how polished they seem. The key, Jesse believes, is to shift the focus from intimidation to mutual respect. Rather than trying to prove himself, he approaches these situations with curiosity and humility. For instance, when collaborating with someone like Julianne Moore, he doesn't see her expertise as a threat, but as a resource. This mindset transforms the dynamic from one of competition to one of shared growth. Imagine how much more productive and enriching work could be if we all saw intimidating situations as chances to learn rather than obstacles to overcome. Of course, this isn't always easy. It takes courage to admit when you're out of your depth, and even more courage to ask for help. But Jesse has found that vulnerability often leads to stronger, more authentic connections. By creating an environment where everyone feels valued, regardless of their experience level, he's able to turn potentially intimidating moments into collaborative triumphs. This emotional connection is just as vital when building trust with your team as it is when connecting with an audience. Emotional connection is the glue that holds any creative endeavor together, and Jesse Eisenberg understands this deeply. Whether it's engaging an audience or building trust with a team, authenticity is key. Jesse believes that vulnerability is the bridge to connection. It's what makes a performance resonate and a team thrive. Imagine an actor delivering a scene with raw emotion, not because it's in the script, but because they feel safe enough to bring their true self to the moment. That's the kind of environment Jesse strives to create, both on set and in his work. But emotional connection isn't just about big, dramatic moments. It's about the little things too. Jesse emphasizes the importance of listening, really listening, to the people around you. For example, he makes it a point to understand the unique needs and strengths of his collaborators, whether it's an actor who thrives on improvisation or a designer who needs clear direction. This kind of attentiveness fosters trust and makes everyone feel like they're part of something bigger. And when people feel connected, the work takes on a life of its own. Of course, building emotional connection requires effort and intention. It's not something that happens by accident. Jesse has found that the key is to lead with care and authenticity, whether you're directing a film or simply having a conversation. When people feel seen and valued, they're more likely to give their best, and that's when the magic happens. Now that you've seen how anxiety can be transformed into a tool for growth, leadership, and creativity, the question is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you ready to stop letting anxiety control you and start using it to fuel your confidence and purpose? Imagine what your life could look like if you embraced your challenges instead of running from them. What's holding you back from taking that first step? Think about it. What if the very thing you've been avoiding, your anxiety, was actually the key to unlocking your potential? What would happen if you stopped doubting yourself and started trusting your ability to lead, create, and thrive? The power to change your life is already in your hands. You just need to take action. So, here's your challenge. Start today. Take one tip, one strategy, and apply it to your life right now. Whether it's setting boundaries, embracing vulnerability, or shifting your mindset, small changes can lead to massive transformations. And don't forget, this journey isn't something you have to face alone. We're here to guide you every step of the way. If this video inspired you, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on new content that can help you grow. And before you go, let me know in the comments. What's one thing you're going to do differently starting today? Let's start a conversation and support each other on this journey toward a better, more confident life. You've got this. Now go out there and make it happen.